Hello everyone and welcome to the Transit Nomad family. Things I love about Sofia and why visiting Bulgaria is a must. That's what we're gonna talk about in this video. But before we get started, I'd like to let you know that as an active traveler and business owner with experience, I might be able to assist you with trip planning, life coaching, and business consulting, with all the details available at buymeacoffee.com/transitnomad or through the link in the video description below. This is where you can also find lots of exclusive content on many different cities around the world, my secrets tips, PDF guides, and the option to request a custom video on any topic that matters to you. With that being said, let's begin talking about the things that I love about Sofia and why visiting Bulgaria is a must in 2025. And the thing number one that I would like to point out, and that is specifically for me, is vintage transit vehicles. We are looking at a very old tram from Switzerland, and it's still servicing the streets of Sofia right now in 2025. And they have many different old school trams, buses, trolley buses, and all kinds of vintage transit vehicles that are servicing city streets in 2025 that are like very, very old. Some of them are 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old. And this is something that you can only do here in Sofia in Bulgaria. Most other European cities no longer have such vehicles in service. So if you are a vintage transit lover, or if you want to experience something different and ride these kind of historic vehicles and possibly go back in time and feel nostalgia, Sofia is definitely a great destination, and that is the number one reason why I came here this time in 2025. Another thing I would like to mention is the cost. Sofia is a very affordable destination. It's very cheap compared to many other cities, especially if you compare it to Western Europe. The cost of accommodations is going to be very low. You would pay about 1/2 of the price, or even 1/3 of the price of what you would pay in Western Europe. And oftentimes the quality of accommodations is going to be a lot better, a lot higher. You would get more space, more amenities, maybe some kind of outdoor patio. It's going to be cleaner and quieter. So I highly recommend checking out Bulgaria and Eastern Europe in general for better prices, better cost, better experience overall. Another thing that Bulgaria is unique and known for is its beaches. It has Black Sea beaches, very beautiful towns and destinations where you can hang out and feel what it's like to have like more laid back kind of vacation. In Europe, you have this experience in Bulgaria available also at very low cost compared to some of the other destinations like California, for example, which is where I came from originally. Before coming to Europe, I was in California for many years, and it's a lot more expensive to go to the beach over there. And everything, as you can tell, everything is kind of going back to the cost. If you like dining out, you can see we are walking through a lot of different restaurants right now. In Sofia, it's a lot less expensive too. Oftentimes the food is also better because they have to compete for customers a little bit more than they do in Western Europe. They often try a little bit harder to create a better environment, maybe something a little bit more elegant, a little bit more classy, a little bit more sophisticated, maybe use a little bit more decoration, things like that. And also in terms of the food, the choices are great. They are more heavier on vegetables and healthier choices, not just carbs like what you see in Western Europe or in the United States. It's more carb heavy. Here you have more vegetables and in general like better variety of healthier food choices, but you can find all kinds of food, and I really appreciate it, all the choices they have over here. One thing that people are afraid of, they think Eastern Europe is more dangerous, or they think that people are not as friendly here. I don't think that is the case. Just because somebody does not smile, it does not make them more dangerous. It's just not a part of their local culture to smile unless they see something really funny or something really ridiculous, or they are like super happy. Otherwise, they don't need the reason to smile. I know that in California, in the United States, everybody smiles all the time as soon as they make an eye contact, but it's not the case in Eastern Europe. We only here people smile only when they feel like something is really funny or when we are really happy. What else did I want to mention? I mentioned about the low prices. I mentioned about vintage transit vehicles. I mentioned about safety. I also want to encourage you to explore the architecture, museums, galleries, art. Eastern Europe has a lot to offer in terms of all these things. Also music. There are a lot of different music venues, concerts, festivals. You can find so many different activities here. You'll be blown away, and you don't have to share your space with as many people. That is another thing I wanted to mention, why visiting Bulgaria is a must, because you have a lot more space for yourself. It's a lot more comfortable. You don't have to wait in line to take a picture in front of a famous landmark or in front of a beautiful scenery. You can just have that space to yourself, maybe share it with a few more people, but you don't necessarily have to share it with hundreds or thousands of tourists that you're gonna run into all day and every day if you're hanging out in cities like Paris or London or Venice that are very famous, and everyone in the whole world always want to go there and check it out. And because of that, it's a lot more tiring to share your space with everybody else. You have to wait in lines, and it's still fine, but it's not as enjoyable, because you can see right now we just stepped aside a little bit, took a little side street, and it's kind of nice and quiet, and we can relax and enjoy our time without having to share our space with other people. And this brings me to the last point in terms of the people that are here. It's mostly locals. They have some tourists, but it's not as many tourists as you might find in other cities in Europe, especially Western Europe or the United States. I'm not sure why. I feel like Bulgaria is a little bit overlooked, especially Sofia, the capital. I see a lot of locals here hanging out, but I don't see as many tourists. So if you appreciate like a local kind of experience, sharing your space with locals and feeling the authentic culture and the vibes of a city life from a perspective of a local, this can be a great destination for you, because it's definitely not as heavy when it comes to tourists from all over the world. It's mostly the locals that are hanging out here, which I think is a cool thing. Having said that, at the end of my trip in Bulgaria, I'll be recording a final verdict video comparing Bulgaria with other countries to help you decide if you should visit, while also saving you lots of time and money with practical tips on how to get the most out of your trip. This will be an exclusive video, but you can easily gain access to it by subscribing or donating any amount on buymeacoffee.com/transitnomad or using the link in the video description below. Thank you everyone for watching, commenting, liking and subscribing. I appreciate you being a part of the Transit Nomad family and look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye bye.